Welcome to PlanData's LeaseMan software. This first screen of LeaseMan shows our current alerts for LeaseMan. Our alerts will show us our expiration dates, our notice and effective dates, our rent jumps, reminders, and action items. So based on our dates based on that, they'll appear in this screen. If you right click on any alert, you have some options. You could send it to email, clear it, go to it, or print or snooze it. Once you've taken care of any alerts that you may have, all you have to do is hit exit and that will clear the screen. From here you'll see our main windows of LeaseMan. Included here is our hierarchy screen. The hierarchy are 3 levels that you can organize your leases into. By default, we give you two different types, a corporate hierarchy and a location hierarchy by region. All leases in LeaseMan go into the 3rd level of the hierarchy, not within 1 or 2. We also give you some other options by location, which will give you country, state, and city, as well as by status. Your property type, leased or owned, and if they're active, archive, cancel, or preliminary leases. Down below you'll see some other information, such as your current monthly rent, your monthly payment, and if you have any renewals, cancellations, or expansions upcoming. We also detail if you have any contacts assigned to the lease, documents, action items, alerts, or log notes. We have the ability to, as we said before, add some stuff to the lease ID, such as attach a lease document, any document. You can assign a contact, delete it, change it, or add some action items to log files. Action items are non-financial information you want to keep track of the lease and what has an action date, and a log file is just general information you want to keep track of, such as you spoke to someone within the building or such. Now our property summaries will show you our property ID, which will show you our branch information, our building information, a contact within the building. Is it a leased, owned, or subleased property? Is it an active, canceled, archive, or preliminary lease? Our usable and rentable square footages. If you have a master ID, a primary use if you want to keep track of that, same as a legal entity, a security deposit, and such. Our landlord payee section allows you to select 3 different payees for the property. All these headers are user definable, but by default we give you a landlord, management, and legal. You don't have to enter any of them in, or you can enter all of them in. You also have the ability to, in our contacts page, assign a contact to the specific landlord's, management, or legal companies. Our critical dates screen allows you to show us your occupancy dates, your commencement dates, your expiration, your lease dates, possession, open, execution. Anything in red is mandatory, anything in blue is optional. We also show you month to month. Now this is how we want our month to month leases to be calculated for our financial reports. Do you want them to go to the end of the current month, calendar, fiscal, lease, years, or to a certain amount, to a certain month, or a specific date? We also, if you notice, our options are here, and that's just set up by hitting new, where you'll see cancellation, expansion, renewal. You can add in additional options if you'd like to, and this is where you also detail your effective and notice dates. Once you've added them in, they'll add into the screen right below. We have our financial information. This you'll see on a lease year basis, our current payments. You'll see the annual cost, the monthly cost. As well, if you go into our detail screen, now you'll see how we come up with those numbers. We give you some default cost codes. You can enter in as many as you want. You'll have your start date, your payment, and your frequency. Monthly, annually, semi-annually, quarterly. You can put in whatever you want. And if you have a rent jump or electric jump or anything, all you have to do is put in the new payment and the new start date, and LeaseMan will calculate that for you. Our miscellaneous are 23 user-definable fields for any information you want to keep track of. These are more, some like yes, no questions, how much free rent, who handles what, and if the tenant has some rights that the landlord has given them. Usage is if you have a building that's split up or you want to keep track of, such as departments, and how many occupants are in those departments, and you want to keep track of that usage. This is where you would keep track of that information. Comments. These are 3 user-definable fields to keep track of all the intricate lease details of your lease and or any other information you want to keep track of. And approvals. Approvals are if the lease administrator makes a change to the lease. This is where you would want to put that information in. Who approved it, who made the change, their title, and when they made that change. Now we have some, important information. We give you a summary report which will detail what's in here. We have our date-related functions, action items, which are non-financial actions that have to be taken on the lease. Our critical lease dates. So between 2 dates, you'll be able to see all your expiration dates, your notice and effective dates, any action items marked as critical lease dates, and your base rent jumps. As well as in financial, we give you a lease commitment schedule, a rent obligation, an annual cash flow, a net out, an annualized GAAP report, and accounts payable. So we give you the basics of getting the most information out of your system with minimal effort. As such, we also have property listings, which will give you all your listings by expiration, by state, city, hierarchy, a security deposit report, a miscellaneous reports by contacts, logs, hierarchy, a company listing, and such. We also allow you the ability to add in custom reports. All our reports are in Crystal. So if you have some reporting or you know how to do some reporting, you can add those in as well. Or if you want us to create them, we can do that as well. So, in conclusion, LeaseMan, we just try to make it an easy to use system that keeps track of your critical dates. That way you make sure you don't miss any.